Already did.
Okay. We are here. It is Levack and Goz on a snowy, yucky, hungover Saturday. It's just get out of here, dog. You've been cool all day, and now you're freaking out. Got up this morning, saw the snow, took the dog out. Dog looked at me like, "You're gonna make me pee out here. Why don't you pee out here?" So I did. And then just if we had to be together, we would. But since we have the technology to not drive in the snow, we're doing the show from various locations, undisclosed, secure locations is where we're doing the show from.
Yeah, that's right. We are virtual. The snow has gotten our way. We have a new background. I went, Levack, right in the morning, I decided to make this background. I don't know if I'm going to like it the entire show. There might be at some point during the show, I just kick this background off and we go old school with our other background because we like using our graphics. I don't know. This is my art. This is the best art I have. Either we're going to stick with this one or at some point of the show, we'll jump back to our old one. I don't know.
I mean, either one's fine with me. I think it's important to answer the question that's on the screen right now. Is snow angel dandruff? And I say yes. So big weekend. Obviously, the conference championships are this weekend. The Royal Rumble is this weekend. Siena Saints won a basketball game last night. I was there for that, allegedly, and just a lot of cool stuff going on. But again, I'm hungover. So guys, whatever the hell you want to talk about, go ahead. I don't even.
That should have been our first wager, whether or not Levack would make it on this beautiful Saturday. Let's do this. Let's start with an easy topic. probably a topic some people are more concerned about, even though they
I always make it. The odds would be whether or not I'd be hungover. Like, I always would make it. It's just what kind of shape I would be in when I got here.
What about Chiefs and Bengals and Rams and Niners? The last time we talked in a weekend, I thought it was going to be Bills and Bucks in the Super Bowl. You thought it was going to be Chiefs and Rams in the Super Bowl. And sure enough, both of those preseason picks for you are still alive. You can still punch that ticket and cash it for you. Do you feel less confident, more confident going into these championship conference games this Sunday?
I change my opinion every 5 seconds, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, ultimately what I believe is Rams will win, Niners will cover. I'll get into bigger things, but so I think my Rams are still alive. However, Shanahan is the head coach of the Niners versus McVay as head coach of the Rams. He's 6-0 already. So I'm not uber confident in that one. That could really go either way. I've heard people say their favorite bet of the weekend is money line 49ers. So I could go either way on that one. In skill to skill, talent to talent, the abuse that Joe Burrow has taken, the Chiefs should just run roughshod over what's left of the Bengals. This is a game that next year I think is very interesting. But then again, Tennessee should have run roughshod over the Bengals. The Raiders actually were in position to beat the Bengals, yet here they are. So it's going to be. I'm going to keep wagering. I've got the apps. I've got a lot of money in those apps. I've done very well in recent history, but I'm not super confident. If it was new money, if I had to put money in this weekend, I would be doing $20 bets.
Ooh, that's interesting because throughout the entire season, we've been talking about divisional dogs. That's my biggest change I made from wagering. It's okay, it doesn't matter what division, regular season, so many people will look at a bad team in a division and they'll just assume the favorite's always going to win. But a lot of times those divisional dogs covered this season. And I know Niner and Ram fan doesn't care about the cover anymore. They just want to see their team get to the Super Bowl. But other people like us who like to invest are fine with the cover. Sean McVay and the Rams. Look, they did this, a few years ago when we were in Atlanta and we covered that Super Bowl. They decided to say, we are changing the way in which most NFL teams figure out the moves they make, how they think about draft picks, how they think about veteran players. We don't need draft picks. We're just going to go get Von Miller. We're just going to get Matthew Stafford. We're going to go get Odell Beckham Jr., although that one's a little bit different because of how the cut and everything else. But you see the point of every single year, we're not going to value college players we don't know about. We're just going to go build the best roster every single season like we're playing Madden and turning the game off after that. And it's worked. They beat the Buccaneers. They beat the Cardinals. And now they're in a spot where they get a divisional foe in San Francisco, and they could potentially do it again. So their mindset is that. And how about you flip it over to San Francisco? San Francisco gave up, I believe, 3 first-round draft picks to draft Trey Lance, who's on the bench. So neither one of these teams care about draft picks. They're like, I will just go out. This is Kyle Shanahan speaking, or the GM for the Rams. I think it's Les Snead, who says, we don't care about picks. We will figure that out later. Our goal is to go to the Super Bowl every year. And sure enough, both these teams have played in Super Bowls the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, and you were the one who always like makes fun of teams for valuing draft picks so much over players and this, that, and the other thing. So you've got to feel pretty good about how that's working. But at the same time, it's they ain't done it yet. You know what I mean? Like they've done this where they've drafted in season by whoever the best player is that they can use their draft picks and some insane amount of just cap math to fit 75 of the best players on your roster. But you ain't won it. The dog found a squeaky ball like right before. And I can't even take it from him because he's so freaking happy. Like I've been cleaning and I'm just finding like every one of his toys that has rolled under something. Like so now he's finding them and they're all brand new. So you're gonna hear squeaking periodically through this. There's just not. He's just too happy. I can't take it from him. So no, but like you've gotten to the dance, but you haven't won the dance with this method. Meanwhile, Kansas City did what they had to do to get Mahomes, and they've won the dance, and they got to the dance again, and they might go a third straight time. So I feel like for me to fully buy into what you've been selling all along, that like people overvalue these draft picks, you go with the player that all this other stuff. Rams have to win this way. Like if the Rams can win this way, and Niners to a degree, like if you look at some of the guys on their roster, you're like, they're like not just draft guys other people don't care about for the most part, like, and then make them into like, I know people value Deebo Samuel. Nobody valued Deebo Samuel like this. Like nobody, like I what was he like? Maybe the 8th wide receiver on the board, something like that. I mean, he was like a 4th round pick in most people, maybe 5th if you were shooting the moon. And now he's arguably the most valuable player in football. So the Niners just like, we don't care what you think. We're going to do whatever we want, and it works to a degree. Rams, drafts are for losers. So let's go ahead and just trade everything and get these players. So 2 very like non-conventional ways of doing things are going toe-to-toe this weekend for a chance to possibly get their asses kicked by the Chiefs.
It's true. And like what we could have seen here potentially storyline wise is, and probably some people predicted this, we could have had this be the storyline again of like, is Tom Brady this final season and Gronk and the Buccaneers do it again? Will they get knocked off in the like that could have been a storyline. The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, the top seed in the NFC. Will this be Rodgers' final run? What would there are other more intriguing storylines that we thought could have been here this week, and they're not there. And I don't know if that's just an East Coast bias of mine, but it's okay. Like, it's not the conference championship I wanted. Look, if they had the Cardinals in there, we could have talked about Kyler Murray and if he's changing the NFL, and Cliff Kingsbury, how much money they're going to offer him and how great he makes his money and everything else. All that stuff could have happened. But instead, we're going to get 2 franchises that in some ways do it the same way. And we're going to find out if one of those 2 teams put up a close game like we saw in all those divisional rounds. So you already teased this, so I don't even know if I need a setup for it, but I'll just do it anyways. You find this Chiefs-Bengal game that is going to be another Sunday game. I believe that's the 3:00 kickoff.
Yeah.
Blowout city. You don't think this is even going to be close between Kansas City and Cincy?
It should be. Like, you should see Brandon Allen in this game. Like, you got Joe Burrow, who got sacked 9 times, lost 68 yards worth of being sacked last week against Tennessee. Chris Jones, Frank Clark. I can't even think of the other guys in Melvin or what the hell his name is. These guys are going to eat. Like, he's going to get sacked at – they're going to hold the Kansas City defense to 4, maybe 5 sacks. Like, that's like – if I'm Joe Burrow and you tell me I'm only going to get knocked down 4 or 5 times, I'm like, oh, thank God, good game. Like, that's how bad this offensive line is. That's Burrow's got to learn to get rid of the ball a little quicker, but the way they run their offense, those outside weapons, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all these guys, Taylor Boyd, they're set for these deeper routes, double moves, stuff like that. Burrow needs to have the ball in his hand for 2.5 to 3.5 seconds, and he don't have 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. So I think Kansas City should annihilate them. They should actually knock Burrow out of this game. I think Joe Mixon is not going to be a running threat in my mind, but I said a lot of this stuff last week. And the only thing that was true was Tennessee kicked the crap out of Burrow. They still lost the game. Today I would go Chiefs and over in this game. I think there will be a lot of points. I think I think the Chiefs will put them away. But again, Kansas City always is within 3, and the Chiefs never seem to want to blow people out. So it's a scary number. If I had to go 7.5, I wouldn't do it. 6.5, I'm all in on Chiefs. 7 flat, I'm treading lightly, but I'm still Chiefs.
If this was another sport, basketball, MMA, boxing, we would say the fight previous just tired out the individual or team, and they'd say they put too much effort in the week before the fight before. They don't have enough left in the tank for this next one. Kansas City is not that team because of all the athletes they have out there and all the playmakers they have. So, yeah, after the performance we saw against Kansas City, and as of this taping and we're live and all that stuff, that Honey Badger is expected to play. And as much as Bills fan wants to talk about Josh Allen, he was great. There's no argument that he wasn't great. The factor of how important and how valuable Tyrann Mathieu has been to Kansas City really isn't understood until we really take a step back and wonder, okay, he was the one who helped them win a Super Bowl for the first time. He was the one, if you ignore all the pot he did in LSU and everywhere else, how different his career has been at Kansas City. And last week, it was noted throughout the broadcast, what's the difference if Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu is out there playing? If he's expected to go and Joe Burrow is looking to make some plays, he's got to be careful with him flying around there. But yeah, like, look, Cincinnati, when you and I did a show at Mohawk County, we both talked about your Raiders. There was a really good argument to be made that Vegas could have won that game because of the constant choking of Cincinnati over the years in the playoffs, and maybe this Raider team had just overachieved and there was something different about it. Argument could have been made there. Cincinnati goes off on the road against the top-seeded team in Tennessee with Derrick Henry as their running back, barely puts up any offense and finds a way to win. They found a way to win and hold on against the Raiders. That's probably going to be what we talk about till kickoff, too. Cincinnati has just found ways to win. The difference is Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. It's a lot more difficult to find those alleys and lanes to squeak out a victory over Kansas City, especially after what they did last week against Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like if you want to factor in last week's games, like you said, Kansas City's in a track meet, all the emotions in the world, everything, blah, 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 going against Josh Allen, who converts, 4 fourth downs. You're like, wow, they got to be worn out. Oh, wait a minute. The Bengals just got body shotted for an entire game by Tennessee, just beating the hell out of them, playing physical as all get out. They've got to be worn out. They'll be both teams will show up. The bell will ring, and they will both start throwing hands. And I just think, to your point, Kansas City just got too much. They just got too much. It's like Mahomes looks like Mahomes again. For a lot of the season, he did not look like Mahomes. He looks like Mahomes now.
It looks like Mike James has been mixing his Baileys and coffee again. He says Jamar Chase 3 touchdowns tomorrow.
Is he like going to turn Madden on for all of us so we can see that, or is that just for him to see? Jamar Chase could have a good game, but he's going to get shadowed. Like you saw them like finally started adjusting to what Cincinnati was doing late in that game that Kansas City lost to Cincinnati during the regular season. They finally started to adjust a little cover 2, some more shadow stuff, all those things. But at the same time, like, it's just not how you stay on your feet. Like, that offensive line is beat down. Burrow is beat down. Jamar Chase is going to have to catch like 5-yard outs and turn them into touchdowns if he's going to have 3 touchdowns. Plus, I mean, come on, it's not going to happen. It's just not. Mike James is just trying to get attention at this point.
Mike, I hope your wife goes into labor during the show. Right now, before the 90 minutes is up, please, we want a live feed of potentially your wife who is days away from giving birth to your wonderful daughter. I hope it happens during the show. Give us a live update. If you're in the car when the delivery could potentially be on the way, we want a live update of the birth of Mike James's daughter, which could be any second here, any day now. Next week, I want you to be tweeting into the show from the hospital while the birth is happening. I want a live, maybe I'll set up a video camera. We could have all that happen. To Jamar Chase, by the way, too. Did you hear the story out there this week that Chase was talking to the media and that Les Miles told him he wasn't good enough to play wide receiver at LSU? He said he didn't want him as a wide receiver? What?
Wanted to play D-back. He was Les Miles, that's one of those ones that has to sting a little bit when you're thinking about it, right? I mean, come on. I'm sure that people have whiffed before, but to whiff at that level where this kid is just the man in college, sits out a year because of COVID, we all kind of joke around because he says that he can't see the football the same and he can't catch the football in the pros. And then proceeds to put up some of the best rookie numbers we've ever seen ever, go eat more grass off the field, Les. Like that's something's wrong, man. That might be like turf poisoning or something. I don't know what's going on there.
Levack, before we give our picks for the conference title game, before we officially go on record with it, I want to tell you about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. It is officially live in New York State with mobile sports betting just in time for these football games. And right now, you can place a bet from anywhere in New York with DraftKings Sportsbook, including the comfort of your couch. Maybe you're watching this right now. You can do it right now. To add to the excitement, DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer you don't want to miss. Bet just $5 on any playoff game and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. The wait is finally over. Head to DraftKings Sportsbook app now to check it all out. DraftKings great promotion, features, and same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code 518 and get 56-1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code 518 this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 and over and physically present in New York. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Well, that guys, we're here on a Saturday at multiple locations, and I just wanted to see if I could shake you because I know like you have to do that perfect, like there's rules. So I just changed. Let everybody know you farted. Nothing.
I will not break. No, I will not do it. Now, here's what some people don't realize too. Like, you know this too. Sometimes because we've promoted so many people, it becomes habit. And I actually will close my eyes when I do it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Maybe that's the old days of sometimes I close my eyes, knowing that someone will try to throw me off. Too many senses going at once won't work for me.
Well, that's probably the best thing about being on camera now is you don't, because it used to be creepy as all hell. I'd be sitting there trying to get your attention. I look over, you're like, like with eyes closed. And I'm like, whoa, hey, get my head over here. Nothing. No. All right, so let's do our official picks for this weekend. The thing that's making me nervous is the public seems to be betting the exact same way as me, which is not the way I like to do things. So, AFC Conference Championship game, 3 p.m. tomorrow, Bengals at Chiefs. Chiefs are laying a touchdown on most books. 54.5 is the total. And, Chalky McChalkerton over here wants to go 100% in with lay the 7 with the Chiefs over 54.5. I hate the Chiefs. I will always hate the Chiefs. The condiments, if anybody's gonna let me down, it's them. But I just can't see this going the other way.
I'm with you on the Chiefs. I like both of those plays. I want to get something more original, more different. I totally agree on that. The only other thing I would potentially take here is Cincinnati first half. They're a 4-point dog in the first half. There's a part of me that's like, okay, maybe that's where we can get Cincinnati. Maybe they can just be down by 3. But the explosiveness of the Chiefs offense, that it could be 3, and you're telling me if they got 45 seconds on the clock in the second, they're not going to take a deep ball to Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce or something like that. That's the only other play I might consider besides the 2 we just listed off there for Kansas City is Cincinnati keeping it within 3 in the first half. But Kansas City's too good. That's the end of it.
Right,
and again, like we just said a few minutes ago, you could argue that the AFC title game was last week, that the best team they played in the AFC was last week. And this is wherever you rank Cincinnati, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Hell, you could argue this is Kansas City's easiest game in the postseason.
Yeah, and here's the fun of it too. Like, if I could find a prop bet for number of snaps Brandon Allen takes, I would probably take the over, because I think there's going to be just Joe Burrow cannot keep taking the abuse he's taking. Like, whether he gets knocked out of the game, whether it's they're getting their asses kicked, and they're before. All right, I'm sorry, I just gotta pull him out of the game. I just gotta, like, the offensive coordinators over there going, just throw in the towel. Like, this enough. I don't want to see it anymore. I think you might see Brandon Allen. There might be a Brandon Allen sighting in tomorrow's game. Would not be shocked by it. 6:30, you got the 49ers at the Rams. Rams are a 3.5-point favorite. 45.5 is the total in most books. And I just saw a stat from the NFL Network that since 2002, 3 times the conference championship game for the NFC has been the West teams. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Have been teams in their own conference.
Okay.
Every time that has happened, the team that's won that has gone on to win the Super Bowl. Seahawks over Niners, Packers over whoever the hell that was, Vikings, I think it was, whatever it was, and on and on. So 3 times it's happened since 2002, and 3 times it's been a Super Bowl champion. So when you pick this game, you might be picking the winner of the Super Bowl. It cannot go more than a field goal against the Niners with the Rams. 3.5. I take seriously, dog.
The dogs are barking, Levack. He
Right.
wants the Niners. He wants the Niners. The dogs are barking.
Well, I'm gonna bet the Niners plus 3.5. I love the under in this game. If I was really, really hoping that everyone was going to start piling on, the other way, so that I could get a little 2.5 action, get a middle. Bet the Rams, minus 2.5. Bet the Niners plus 3.5. Just never came to fruition. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. But I'll take the Niners to cover. I'll take the Rams on the money line.
Man, 2 for 2. The 3.5 scares me.
So we're screwed.
I can see this going down to the fourth quarter, back and forth, and I think a lot of people don't realize what we've talked about that Niners 6 wins in a row over LA. It just is a stat that the East Coast fans don't follow as much. But knowing that stat, knowing the divisions, Niners is a better play to cover in this game, and this is also a fun game if you want to play some fantasy prop bets on DraftKings. I can't keep my eyes off these. I've been looking at these all week. So Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel, both explosive players. Any time to get in the end zone. Minus 110 for Deebo, minus 150 for Cooper Kupp. And here's a fun one. First scorer, Odell Beckham Jr., plus 900. Odell's been on fire.
Well, they're going to feed him.
Great.
The only way to keep him happy is to feed him.
Plus 900 for Odell to be the first one on the board. I love that play. So I'm going to try to figure out ways to parlay that. I don't know if it actually will allow me to do that. Same game parlays, got to play with all that. I might just toss a few dollars on those bets and see if I can get a nice payout on one of those.
There's a lot of them like doing promotions with same game parlays, so you can get it. Like the only thing I found that it won't let me do a lot of times is a team with the spread and then the money line of that team. Like that's the only one I find that you get a lot of trouble with. But with the prop bets, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm sure one of them will. It is what it is. I'm still nervous about it. Luckily, I'm up. I'm playing with house money. I'm either going to take down a good amount of cash or, dog, lay down somewhere. What the hell? He's going nuts. My daughter's came home. That's why I shot with a Nerf gun. But he's freaking out. I'm nervous because I could legitimately see a scenario where when we were at Tech East on Tuesday and we're going, wow, can't believe the Bengals played such a perfect game. And it happened to upset. And wow, look at Niners did it again. It should be Rams Chiefs. I predicted it before the season started. I feel pretty good about it, but this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, I'm not going big. I'm not going to go big. I'm not going to go in my own pocket. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to happen.
I'm also done taking advice from Twitter. Some of you are sending me too many picks on Twitter, and anytime someone sends me a pick, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm going to take that. Ooh, I'm like that." The 25-cent bet, 50-cent bet. I feel like I'm at Saratoga dropping 10-cent superfectus. If he's watching, Jeffrey on Twitter said, "Goz, lock of the century, Lehigh minus 4.5 on a Friday at 5 p.m." I'm like, how the hell do you know about Lehigh on a Friday at 5 p.m.? Of course it missed. So I'm like, you know what? Enough of the Twitter suggestions on gambling. I'm gonna figure it out. Wagering, investing.
So I mean, you can gamble now. You can be responsible. Don't bet with your head. Don't bet over it. And 1-800-GAMBLER if you need help. That's how you do it. That's it. Have some fun out there. I'm looking at some of these comments that are coming in, and it's just like Mike James, feed the dog. I fed the dog, Mike. I fed the dog. Don't worry about you. Worry about you. I'll worry about my dog. Okay. All right. How about that, Corey? How come in separate locations? I thought you were going to Goz's house. It's snowing, Corey. Okay? Is the show not as good to you without me sitting there scaring the hell out of Goz's kid? Sorry. It's just what do you want? You're evil, Corey. You just want to see little Rex Gozlowski crying. That's what you want because you're evil.
How
Little
could you,
sadist.
Corey? Yeah.
Yeah. We're on to you, freak. Also going to parlay both teams tomorrow too, and hope that I win. That's what I'm going with. What do you want to do, man? Just keep going. I'm hungover.
I want to do
you
this
go.
if you don't mind. Can
Yeah.
how I know you had a few adult beverages last night, but how did you sleep after all of that?
Dude, I slept phenomenal. And actually, it's funny. I was at the Siena game. Siena beat Niagara last night. Great job, Saints. And this guy I hadn't seen him forever walks up and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Good, man, good." I'm like trying to remember last time I saw him, whatever, what he might want to talk about. And sure enough, he goes, "Still doing that sleep thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I try to sleep every day." And he's like, "No, that mask." I'm like, "Not a mask. The Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa, Dr. Fred Dreer. It's a mouthpiece. Keeps my airway open." And he goes, "Mouthpiece, huh? What about the mask?" I'm like, "I don't have the mask." He goes, "I couldn't use the mask." He just keeps going. And I'm like, "Bro, it's not a mask. It's a mouthpiece." It took me like a week to get used to it. He goes, "Yeah, adjust that thing a lot." I'm like, "Well, every once in a while, I'll get a call from Doctor and the crew over at the Integrative Sleep Center that I need to come in and, make sure it's fit right." Then they do a couple little things, and I'm good to go. It's not a mask. I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, just call 518-885-6185. Call 518-885-6185. Dr. Fred Dreer and the Integrative Sleep Center. Help me sleep better. Help you sleep better too with a mouthpiece, not a mask. And he's like, "Oh, thanks." And he leaves. And then Mike Corda and his lovely wife Gina and his lovely daughter, we call her 2.0 because she's him, the next generation of him. They're all laughing. And I go, 24 years of radio. 24 years of radio. Part of multiple championship teams one way or another. And all anyone knows me for is a sleep mask that I don't wear. It's a mouthpiece. Damn it! And finally got nominated. Guys, I get nominated for that Times Union Best of the Best poll. You'd think they would have nominated me for best sleep guy. That's what I should be. Best sleep spokesman. That's all anybody knows me as is me and Dr. We're joined for life now.
Which, by the way, I forgot to leave our link this week. Go back and vote for us. Nominate. Very appreciate if you decide to vote for us for best local media personalities on the best of the best for the time 2022. Go out there and nominate. Thank you for the support.
Did you see your boy is leaving? He's another sports guy going to the news anchor role?
We Talk Fantasies host Chet Davis doing a little wake up 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, Chet gave me the heads up. He's like, "Hey, don't tell anybody. We're gonna announce it during Jack's sign off." Shout out to Jack Lamson, by the way. Awesome guy, man.
Yeah, where's he
Best
going?
of luck.
He's
going to go brew some beer, man. He's an award-winning brewer. Yeah, he gave us an invite. He told me, "Hey, whenever you guys want to come to the brewery, you just shoot me a text." So shout out to Jack doing that.
Why didn't tell me that?
He told me that to tell you.
I would have went. Now I don't want to go.
We will still go. No, we will go.
No, I'm not. Nope. My feelings are hurt. That's it. Evil little ginger. All right,
Levack, guys. Doing that. Yeah. By the way, get ready for that 2:30 wake up, Chad. Enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, dude, but that means he's done by like 2:30 in the afternoon, man. That's the good life right there. Out swinging the golf clubs, having a fun time. Come on. Celebrity. People will know him for more than sleep masks and mouthpieces. It'll be good for him. He'll love it. Good for the Giants. They get Brian Daboll in as their new head coach just after bringing in a boy named Shane to be the GM, both from the Bills organization. I like that. I like this synergy of bringing in guys work well together. What do you think, Daboll, the guy? I think it's your best chance to see what you've got with Daniel Jones.
Cashed in. Brian Daboll may never be a hotter candidate in the history of his career than he is right now because of the success of Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills offense and how great that offense battled against Kansas City. So if he was ever going to take a job, if he was ever going to be a head coach, this is the hottest he's ever going to be. His resume doesn't look better than it does right now, and he's got a really good resume. Couple stints with the Patriots, right? Did his thing out there. Did his thing at Alabama. Good for him. If you're a Giant fan, although saying those two things out loud again, connections to the Patriots, connections to Alabama is a very similar resume to Joe Judge and when he was hired as the Giants head coach. The biggest difference, though, and this is just how his career went, Daboll now he can back it up. Hey, look what I just did in Buffalo. And this goes further back. This goes back to Ben McAdoo. This goes back to Pat Shurmur. in comparison to them, like Pat Shurmur had the Keenum Viking offense and McAdoo had the Giant offense. But the Bills is better than all of those. Like what Buffalo did there is far better than what we've seen in the past candidates that the Giants have brought in. So now you've got a guy who has a really good offense, has a really good background, and you hope after ranking 31st last season in offense, he can fix it. And there are rumors out there how his staff's going to come together, but just Brian Daboll, let's see what happens. I think it's pretty cool. I think a New York sports fan should be excited about that because now the Giants are going to be more watchable. And the next question will probably turn to who's going to be the quarterback. Whether or not we believe Joe Shane and Daboll that it's going to be Daniel Jones, I don't believe that as much as they were trying to fight off reporters for storylines for the next 2.5 months.
Well, I think it could be for this year because who else are you going to get? You know what I mean? Like who's the guy that blows your mind? I look at these two and I hope that they were taking copious amounts of notes while Bean and McDermott were building this Bills team because the Bills were a train wreck when those guys got there, and they had a plan and it succeeded faster than they thought it would. So I don't need you to succeed faster than you thought you would for Shane and Daboll. I want you to have a plan and to build the way they built. You know, get me that offensive line, get me that defensive line, go trenches out. If there's a guy like a Josh Allen out there, or you see that, maybe it's Daniel Jones. I don't know. Do that. Develop him. Bring in the pieces that you need. You Diggs that you know is being underutilized where he is, or like at that point, Diggs was known as like the best bad ball catcher in the NFL. His catch radius was greater than anybody else's. Hey, you know what will make Josh Allen look a lot better? A guy who's going to catch anything that's within 5 yards of him. So do those things. Do exactly what they did in Buffalo while you were there. Now do it at MetLife for the Giants. Make them a contender and then win. Everything's good after that. Like, just don't be a laughingstock anymore.
There you go. You know, you said the connection right there between Shane and Daboll. They've worked together before. They've saw the success. They've built the formula. Okay, we saw what happened here. And you know what? As good as Buffalo has been, here's the fun part about this too. There probably were some mistakes that we don't notice as much now because they're winning that also Daboll and Shane probably are going to learn from. Okay, here's what we did really well in Buffalo. Here's what we better make sure we never do again when we're now here with the New York Giants. And when you look at the NFC East overall, it's still a really winnable division. You know, Washington's going to be making a change at quarterback. Philadelphia's got some really good draft picks on the way. You got me on that one. And then Dallas, what they're going to have coming forward, look, you know what? I take that back. It's not winnable in 2022. You probably are a year or two away, depending on what's going to happen with some of these franchises. But playoffs are more likely. It all depends on what you're going to do with that offense, though. You got to find Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay. Is he done after one season? There's still some huge changes that likely are going to need to be made across the board with those skilled guys for Big Blue.
I don't think you can completely write off next season because there is some talent there. You know what I mean? It really is going to come down to how quick can you implement your systems, Nick Sirianni? Like how quickly can you put things the way you want them to be? Because they have talent. There's talent on the Giants. Not enough to go out and just completely flip the NFC East and all that stuff. But there's got to be enough out there to get to, you know, close to 500, a little over 500, since you can't do flat out 500 records anymore. I wouldn't, if Daniel Jones responds to the coaching, and even if you just turn him into a bridge quarterback, you could be a piece that's contending for that 7th playoff spot. Why not? 7. It's extra. Goz doesn't agree, or is his phone? Did that break? Are you done? Did I lose you? I noticed. All right. So before we get everyone on, Goz was having trouble with his headphones, and I think he's having trouble with his headphones again. Or he really did fart. One of the two things is possible. Yeah, look at him. I love watching him. He's like, all right. So for those of you listening right now and not able to watch it live on the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration stream, Gozilla Media's YouTube, you're watching Goz attempt to figure out how to plug his own headphones in, and it's awesome. Yeah, he said, lost my headphones. Give me 2 minutes. Look at, I hope you're watching this. If you're listening to this, you have to go back and watch afterwards to see Goz attempt to figure out technology. It's legitimately like the scene in Zoolander when they're trying to break the computer to get the files out. Like watching him try to figure this out is my favorite thing I've seen in so long. I think I'm just going to do play-by-play. At this moment, his large head continues to get closer and farther away from the camera as he looks more and more confused. He cannot hear. Headphones are gone. His headphones are gone. It's the look of disappointment, dismay, and despair on the face of Goz. This professional broadcaster, media mogul, owns his own broadcast company, Gozilla Media, can't get a pair of headphones to work. He is upset. Even Camo's upset. He's behind me now, the dog. I'm gonna do the rest of the show without him. It'll be funny for me just to keep going. I wanted to see what he thought about the Raiders. I really did. Oh, he's gone. He disconnected. Okay, all right, so it's Levack and Camo now for the show. Levack and Camo.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Camo, Goz wants his job back. You can't have his job.
I feel awful about that. So I'm back. For those who watch on the video side, you can just see me scrambling. That should just be a 2-minute.
I was doing play-by-play. I did full play-by-play. Yeah. I did full play-by-play, so we're good to go. Even Camo came over to jump in and help out. So
I just see people like now in the comments just laughing away. There you go. Just got 2 minutes of me scrambling like an idiot. So yes, Brian Daboll. I think Giants fans should be excited. I think Giants. We probably already said all of this. Giants fans, there's hope now. You've got to go.
I literally spent the last 2 minutes giving play-by-play for anybody who's listening to this on like Spotify or whatever, so they could see just how out of your depth you are when it comes to technology of any variety.
You got to see it live and in person. Dump Daniel Jones. He stinks. Go get somebody else. He's horrible.
Yeah, I don't think he stinks.
He's worse with me with headphones, Daniel Jones.
All right, well, that's just mean. Now you're just being.
Who tweeted out Goz is struggling with his headphones? I see now our watchers are just continuing to increase. You're all sick and mean people. Why are more people watching now? Who shared this with their friends and said, look at that monkey over there. Look at that idiot, that chimpanzee banging on his headphones. My God. Okay, enough. Some of you need to stop watching. God, why does the number keep going up? Are you on your phone texting people right now?
No.
Oh my God. I thought you were sending a mass text. Look at Goz struggle. Right,
I'm just getting more and more people are just noticing it. Like
these numbers keep going up.
Yeah, you're like it's nice to see people realize like just how much you don't know anything. You know what I mean when it comes to that stuff. I said the guy owns Gozilla Media and he can't plug in his own damn headphones.
Here's what happened with the headphones. I just said to Levack before we actually connected. I got a brand new set of headphones before like a week or two ago. And I used it for one day. I don't want to blame my son, but I will because he can't read and he can't hear this. He doesn't understand.
You can't blame the kid.
He took my headphones and smashed them, so it only worked on one side. I'm like, what the hell? Where'd my left side of my headphones go? And then now I plugged them in and they don't even work. So I'm going to hold this up to the screen if you can see this. Look at this like knot that's in my headphones. Look at this thing. It's like a piece of spaghetti that's going on in my headphones right now that I'm holding it like this. So technology stinks. You know who doesn't stink, though? Mohawk Honda. The great people at Mohawk Honda and the Mohawk family. We have an event coming up, Levack. February 10th, you and I will be broadcasting live from Mohawk Honda. You and I live there, getting you ready for the big game. And also Wednesday, February 9th at noon, I will be judging Tour de Wings, the best wings in the Capital Region. If you want to nominate your favorite wing place in the Capital Region, head over to Mohawk Chevrolet's Facebook page, nominate your favorites, and who knows, they might be crowned the best wings in the Capital Region. Again, Mohawk Chevrolet's Facebook page, taking suggestions for what you think might be the best wings in the Capital Region. January's here. February's just around the corner. What a great Valentine's Day gift. It's the person in your life who you love, a brand new vehicle. Inventory is always great. People you can trust during the car buying experience, and people you're going to love. Oh, that's that nice. They're going to love them during the car buying experience because people you can trust, ride, you're going to enjoy for years to come. Mohawk Honda, Mohawk Chevrolet. We love the Mohawk family. Oh, so much love here. They always go out of their way to please you.
Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I buy you a car for a Valentine's Day date. That better end how I decided it ends. Okay. At that point, that's what I'm saying.
Do you see some of these comments go?
have you been watching the banners?
watching the band. John Dang Yi.
Yeah.
Goz colored his hair.
It does look a little. It looks a little orangish.
It doesn't look. It looks amber.
I think what happened is when you started, you showed a lack of a soul by blaming your child for stuff. You turned ginger right in front of everybody. It happened. It's the thing.
The lighting in here is strange. Although I get nervous about the child having red hair. Sometimes I think he might. What up, boys from football?
Did your mailman have red hair? Or?
No, nobody in my family has red hair. No. Oh, good morning from Jamie. There she is. Hello, Jamie.
Yeah, what's up? Good morning.
Jamie, let me know what you think about the graphics. I'm trying to be an artiste like you. I don't know if it paid off well. Do you want to read that for the audio audience, that last banner?
Goz is now a ginger. No, you have to watch to get the banner out. That's it. Because it was Goz has blamed the small child for his actions. Now Goz is now a ginger. Goz farted again. There you go. So
I'll tweet this out. Why are people thinking my hair is now red?
It does. It looks like it must be the lighting in that room because it does look a little different. All right. So the Giants have their coach. Bears have Matt Eberflus, which is good for them, I suppose. I'm trying to think who else. Has anybody else? That's it, right? The Raiders are interviewing
Nathaniel Hackett, Levack, and the Denver Broncos. What a bizarre world that. If you don't remember Nathaniel Hackett for upstate New York fans, Nathaniel Hackett, the former offensive coordinator for the Syracuse Orange under Doug Marrone, former offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, got fired as the OC at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you get fired as the offensive coordinator for the Jags, and now you're the head coach of the Denver Broncos. Bizarre world.
Because allegedly he is going to bring Aaron Rodgers with him. So he'll have, because of his Green Bay time, he'll get Aaron Rodgers going to jump in with him. They're going to be he's going to open the door and Aaron Rodgers is going to join the Denver Broncos. Just poof in. Here you go.
That's allegedly what's going to happen. That's a nice shot by Denver. Although all I hear about Nathaniel Hackett is how smart he is.
Right.
I don't trust a guy who goes by Nathaniel. Why is he Nate?
Right. Well. Also, like, if Hackett was part of Green Bay, doesn't Rodgers hate Green Bay? Like, is he the one guy in Green Bay that he liked? Is that how we're doing this? It just doesn't like. I know that Aaron Rodgers is going to end up in Denver because that's what's worse for me as a Raiders fan, to have a division with where Justin Herbert's the worst quarterback that you face. Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. Like, Carr's a very good quarterback. He would be the fourth best quarterback in that conference at that point. Like, he would be. It would be not even close. Well, I think I still like him a little better than Herbert because I think Herbert still makes some stupid bonehead moves. But that would be terrifying. The two guys who should be MVP, or at least in the conversation for MVP each and every year, would be in the Raiders conference. Yay! That sounds so much fun. Let's go division. Yay! I love it. Yay! And then the Raiders are going to bring in potentially my best friend, Josh McDaniels. Like, we got that going for us, which is nice. Ready to go.
I think look at that. The perfect segue right there. Levack to the football and the no guys. Want to know what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's a matter of if it goes the way they're talking about, where it's Ziegler and McDaniels, and it's one of those things where you're sitting there and you have a system that you're bringing in together, a synergy of the two sides, then I think it could be very, very good, especially since you already have your quarterback. But at the same time, we've seen Josh McDaniels act before. He traded up to get Tim Tebow to be his quarterback. Had a playoff game. Okay, fine. But, like, I don't need somebody who didn't learn from that. So did he learn enough that he's going to do that? Is this another Indianapolis situation where he's attempting to, push along the agreement we all assume that he has, where he's the heir apparent, he's the coach in waiting for New England? I don't know. I just I don't think it's gonna be Harbaugh anymore. I think that's done. So Josh McDaniels is, somebody everybody always talks about. Let's give it a run. Let's see what happens. You can bring in a whole front office together and they work well together. That'll be a good thing.
I don't believe it. I don't get it.
No.
It doesn't make sense to me. Do I think Josh McDaniels could be a good coach in the NFL? Sure. I think he's had a long enough resume. I just don't get what happened between the Colts and the Raiders. And if it's money, like you said, like if it's just flat out money, the contract is just so stupid, then and that's it. Fine, okay, then just take the money and go. I just look at that McDaniel situation and wonder, and maybe it's because I'm a Syracuse guy and I think about Boeheim and Mike Hopkins, where everyone gets that he's the coach in waiting, right? Like, isn't this understood that whenever Belichick goes, that McDaniels is going to be the guy? Maybe the competitor in McDaniels just says, like, I'm done waiting. Like Mike Hopkins, the Mike Hopkins thing happened in like, God, I want to make sure I get this right. 2014, it was announced he was going to be the successor. And by the time the scandal kind of went down with the late Fab Melo was 2017, and it's 2022. So Hopkins would have been waiting like 7 years, if even 8 years. He's like, I'm not waiting anymore. So maybe there's a combination of Belichick is doing this a lot longer than we realize.
Yeah. Well, also, like, at what point do you not believe he's leaving? You know what I mean? Like, was there a conversation like, hey, once Tom leaves, I'm leaving, or I need to prove I can do this without Tom, or whatever? And then it's like, okay, you proved it. You brought us right back to the playoffs. It's time to go now. And he's like, nah, I need to win a Super Bowl. Okay, well, you know what? Vegas is going to give me big money. I'm going to Vegas. It could be that, but I wasn't thinking of him at all. I did not think that he was the guy. I didn't want Eric Bieniemy because obviously there's something wrong with him that everybody talked to him, nobody hired him. I didn't want the reach on the Jerod Mayo there. Like, I didn't want that. I feel like that's a reach. I feel like he's going to be a head coach, but I feel like right now he's getting those like courtesy interviews, and then a year or two from now he'll be the head coach somewhere. I would have loved Flores. Like, I think that guy would be hysterical in Vegas because he wouldn't be hysterical. You know, everybody else is freaking out. And what's happening? We won a game. What's happening? We lost a game. Anything else? Nope. Hey, knock it off in there.
Are you? I guess surprised. Maybe it's not the best way to say it, but usually there's like a huge college candidate that's always rumored every year. You know, we could go through the list of Urban Meyer to Matt Rule. We get like every year. Do you think the lack of success of Urban Meyer and Matt Rule, although still employed by the Panthers, is going to have waves of effects for more years than we realize? Nine head coaching vacancies. I haven't heard one college coach mentioned for a single vacancy of the 9.
Because they're all moving and taking other college jobs, I think is what it comes down to. I don't think. Wow, I don't know who wrote that one. Guys always finds a way to bring up Syracuse. That's a good point, though. I wish I had thought of that. No, like most of the college coaches took bigger college programs. The only college coach that was even being talked about was Harbaugh, and I don't really know. I don't know if he was even serious, or if maybe he is. Maybe it's one of those situations where last minute we'll hear he's taking the Vegas job, but he's obviously not going to the Bears. So, who is the other guy at the college ranks that you would want?
I was going to say Daboll Sweeney, but Daboll, I mean, he just screams college. Saban's going to stay in college. Nobody really jumping out to me off the top of my head right now that would fit, or a style or anything else like that. Ryan Day, Ohio State's probably a really sweet gig. Yeah.
And he's coming off of kind of a down year for him. You know, Daboll Sweeney, what would be more Raiders than drafting every Clemson player and then drafting a coach? That would be very Raiders. So I could see that still. But I think, like, if you go through the jobs, there's 6 open now? So there's 6 head coaching jobs open right now. All right, Nathaniel Hackett to the Broncos, Matt Eberflus to the Bears, Brian Daboll to the Giants. So most likely you're looking at Brian Flores to the Texans. Where's he going now? I don't even know.
This is too tough to figure out where they're going to go, because now it's about contracts and styles, and behind the hell, Josh McCown's out there somewhere getting rumored that this is where the reporters, the Schefters, the Glazers, the Lock and Flores, this is where you guys go make your money. Ian Rappaport, go make your money. This is how you earn it right now.
That's the thing too. So the Texans, Josh McCown probably gets that job. You don't interview him 2 years in a row, or and not have a serious thing for him. It looked like Brian Daboll was going to the Dolphins. That's obviously not going to happen. Dan Quinn pulled his name out of everything. Byron Leftwich is supposed to be going to the Jags. Like it's an interesting year the way things are shaking out, and I wouldn't mind the Raiders picking somebody up now. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to be the one who goes, oh crap, everybody else got hired. Like, you're the last one standing at the dance with no one to dance with. And all of a sudden, a chick who looks like me is looking at you. Hi, like, I don't want that. I don't need that at all. So let's go ahead and whoever, if it's Mcdaniels, if it's Harbaugh, whoever it is, let's go ahead, Raiders. Let's go ahead and get that done. Can we, please? Thank you.
Please. Levack, I'm rooting for your Raiders. We got a quick local story I want to hit on. Just because you mentioned you were at Siena yesterday, you saw the Saints play. They grabbed that big victory over Niagara, over Greg Paulus and his squad. I feel like there's a lot of things going on locally, but we have to at least address this story. And I don't know how tapped in you are to this. I've been making some calls. Union-RPI is today at the MVP Arena. Hockey, we know how big it is here in the Capital Region, especially this rivalry. If you missed it, Union Hockey can now offer scholarships to their players, which is a huge plus for their program. But someone you and I have both interviewed, Rick Bennett, has now resigned as the head coach of Union. Reports are speculating its coaching philosophies. He was placed on administrative leave. I know it's dangerous to speculate, but I think we just need to offer our perspective for those who don't know, because we've interviewed him a bunch. What do you make of this story locally that's huge involving the Union hockey coach resigning and your past experiences with Coach Bennett?
I don't have set data on what happened. I've heard about what you've heard. A couple of my friends who were reporting on it refused to even speculate to me because any of their sources were, hearsay. And it's like one of those things where it's like, but it's just us talking. I don't even have a show anymore. And no, you know what? It's just not. It's not right to say what we're hearing.
Just remind them Just remind them you do have a show, bud.
Well, I mean, like the day that, I mean, is it?
You're more than welcome to break it here if you want, but go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I wasn't gonna do it. Like, plus you say it that way, and then there's a chance they actually open their mouth. No, so I don't have it. But I he's a tough guy. Like we've had him sit across from us. We've had him over the phone. He's not. He's old school to the point of aggressive. He's an aggressive dude. You know what I mean? So I would not doubt that he said or did something that isn't acceptable in modern day athletics. But at the same time, I don't have it. I don't know what it was. I also think a lot of it is you're another year away from winning, the national championship, which means your act is getting tired. If they're in the Frozen Four every year, that's people turn a blind eye. But when you're not in the Frozen Four every year, now you gotta dance to the same beat of everybody else. I have been sent probably 16 quotes from guys who used to play for him that I know somebody who knows somebody knows somebody, and they're both the meanest things that someone's ever allegedly said, and some of them are the funniest things I've ever read. I wouldn't want them said to me or about me, but at the same time, when I see them, it's like, oh yeah, one time I was told I was useless as a nun's. I went, I'm going to use that. I'm going to say that to somebody. I'm sorry. It's terrible, but it's also funny to me. So, but again, it's not being said to me. It's not being yelled at me across the ice. I don't know. I don't know. It's all speculation. I've never had an issue with him. He's again tough. He's not dropping one-liners, at dinner. But he was a winning coach, and as somebody who doesn't know if any of these accusations are real, just knows that he stepped down. I hope whatever it is, I hope whoever it was, everybody's okay, and Union gets back to being a winning, championship program.
I know this goes further back than 6 years, but just from my perspective, since I moved out of the Capital Region, it always feels like stories like this, something is missing or fishy or doesn't, especially like the last 3 years, right? Like the story involving Coach Will Brown and what happened at UAlbany and Jimmy Patsos at Siena, although that was a little bit different because details were leaking out. Like there's certain stories locally, especially in the sports world. Hell, like look at all the changes that have happened. Whether we want Allie Jackson, Siena, Jamie and Christian, and Coach Carr. Like there's been a lot of coaching changes across the Capital Region for this market over the last 5 to 6 years, which sounds wild to think about. The Rick Bennett thing, you touched on there. Old school dude for people who don't know him and his background. But I think a better way to compare this locally would be like this. Okay, wherever you live, right? Let's say Duke, North Carolina. Biggest rivalry there locally. And then all of a sudden, before the game, Roy Williams gets canned. Don't take it as if Rick Bennett's Roy Williams. Take it more of, hang on a second.
Right.
Our biggest event of the year, where our most alumni are coming to the event, we're going to have the story of the game not be about the game, but instead of be about the coach we just let go or resign or however you want to phrase it. So why is that happening? You would think people who cover the team, right? Like a Sean Martin or a Ken Schott or whoever it is. Hell, Gardner Royce, who's on CBS. You guys know the names of the people. Liana, shout out to our friend Liana Bonavita, who got the first call with Rick Bennett. He was up on ABC last night talking to Liana and the whole crew over there, and Griffin and everybody, Jared Phillips and everybody else. So why? Like, what is the thought process behind letting Rick Bennett go the day before the biggest game of the year? The only thing that even makes sense is they think they're so confident that Union's going to win that the athletic department says, look, we didn't need them, and we have changes coming with scholarships, and our football team's go. That must be it. Look, the fact that we don't have a detail of what exactly was said is wild to me, that no one's figured it out. But it also, the timing of this is bizarre.
Well, his contract's up soon. My cousin just hit me up. She's like, his contract's up next year anyway. So maybe it's just one of those, hey, are you going to re-up me? No, you said and did this. Okay, I'm going to leave then. Okay, don't let the ice rink door hit you where the good Lord split you, pal. Beat it. Who knows? Like I said, I don't have anything negative to say about him. I don't. We didn't have him on the show a lot because he's not a great interview. You know what I mean? He's a hockey guy. He's not here to drop one-liners. He's not like, if you want to go play tough, hard-nosed, winning hockey, you go play for Rick Bennett. If you want that to be, courted, recruited, have a guy with a stellar outgoing personality and who's going to treat you nice and tell you you're pretty, you don't go play for Rick Bennett. That's just what I've seen in years of dealing with him. So I think you know who he is when you go play for him too. I can't imagine he's a guy who sits across from you in your living room and goes, no, we're going to every Tuesday is Tulip Tuesday. I leave fresh flowers in your locker and everything. And then you show up here and he's a hard-nosed SOB. I think he sits across from you and goes, you want to win? You want to play hard? You want me to make you a better, stronger man? I'm your guy. You want somebody to coddle you? You may want to go play somewhere else. So those are the ones that always get to me. Like Bobby Knight. Like, obviously he was, way too far, bad person, whatever. You knew who he was when you went and played for him. You knew who he was, and you chose to go play for him. And then you were shocked when he threw a chair at you. I'm sorry, maybe it's not the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong, but you knew who he was. Go play somewhere else. If you're being recruited by him, you're being recruited by somebody else. Go play somewhere else. Wait, that lion ripped my arm off. It's a lion. Don't mess with it. It's a Tiger King. I got mauled by a tiger. Stop effing with tigers.
Joey Exotic got a year off of his prison sentence, by the way. 22 to 21 years for Joey.
How long is he going to be?
21 years. He appealed this case. Now they knocked it off from 22 years to 21 years for Joe Exotic.
Difference.
Come on, lawyers. Come on. What did Joe Exotic do? The lawyers knocked 1 year off. Levack and I could have walked in there, got a year off. Like, look, come on.
Yeah, I feel like going 22 to 21 years is please. Yeah. And man, please have it be 1 year less. Yeah, fine, whatever. 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 Will you leave? Will you stop talking to me? Yeah, go ahead. 1 year appeal. That's almost the judge saying F you. Yep, you make me an argument. Oh, great. Gonna shorten your sentence. Awesome. How long? 1 year. F you. Such a dick move. I love it.
How could they to Joe Exotic?
But how many straight meth head guys are going to have someone to date now? Like, he's got to get out of jail so all those straight meth heads can start turning gay, like they did in the first season of Tiger King.
I had a graphic up here that I was going to write. Oh, man, I can't figure out how to spell exotic. How about me butchering this? Oh, I got it. All right. Yeah, there's a dumb joke. Any Empire news this week? Anything exciting going on with Empire? I know we just touched on Sienna. Anything cool inside the Albany? I like when you give us some little scoops behind the scenes here on these weekend podcasts.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. We are finalizing the new uniforms. As soon as we have those, we'll do a uniform reveal. Both for the players and the Empresses, both getting new gear this year. And stay tuned because there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things on the way. We are going to announce the official open tryout soon, and then camp starts in April 23rd. Get your popcorn ready. Season tickets available now. Call Matt Woods, 518-714-2200, extension 101.
I like it. All right. I wanted more out about that, but I like that. That's a very good answer. Shout out to Matt Woods, Hobart's own. I got 3 stories I want to end with. Usually I got 1. I got 3. One involves somebody we've interviewed before, and I feel like we're in a very minority opinion on this. I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at Johnstone Supply in Troy. It's January. February's coming. What are you doing in your home to make sure it's safe? Like maybe, for instance, you have a leak in one of your pipes in your basement. You have no idea why it's leaking, and you're like, what do I do? Help me. And then you call 518-272-5922. 518-272-5922. You hit 2. You say, Tom, why is my pipe leaking? Can you help me? Like, I feel like I'm saying this because it happened to me. I didn't know what was going on. I have a bucket in my basement, but luckily I have Johnstone Supply in Troy to tell me reasons of, guys, this is why your pipes are leaking. You should probably check on that. Do that right now. Whether it's your furnace, your boiler, anything in your home that might need to be adjusted, Johnstone Supply in Troy can give you that advice and the tools that you need. Stop over at 6th Avenue in Troy. Well, they'll give you those competitive prices for the things that don't eat weekly old moldy cheese. I hate these graphics. Johnstone Supply in Troy is going to help you through this winter to make sure you are warm, you are safe, the family and friends that are visiting, that you don't have any issues. Check them out. Specials always going on for their boilers, especially this month. And the John Goodman furnace, as we like to say, we will put the sticker on personally if that happens. Johnstone Supply in Troy. Check them out, 6th Avenue. If you have questions, one more time, stop it in that store on 6th Avenue, 518-272-5922. Look at our visual side. Dead center, right in the middle. That logo's a little stretched. Sorry, Jamie. I thought it looked better when I originally did it, but they are the best. Johnstone Supply in Troy.
Awesome. Very good. Very, very good. Levack and Goz live on the Techies Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, Gozilla YouTube. By the way, if that bucket leaks a lot, you got to call Tech East, and we'll take care of that, which I'm sure you're going to need sooner or later with the way you take care of your house. Right, Camo? Right, okay.
I got some issues with this Jeff Garcia, Mina Kimes story. Can we be on the negative side of the Jeff Garcia, Mina Kimes thing? Have you read about this?
Yeah.
Have you heard? Okay. For those who have not heard this story, earlier in the week, Mina Kimes just basically said that Jimmy Garoppolo is not playing well. Niner fans freaked out. She started going back and forth about what was happening.
She said he is the epitome of the guy who's in your group, does no work, and then gets an A. Like that's what she said he was. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I think that's exactly right. So Jeff Garcia then went to Instagram and basically ripped her. It's a really long Instagram post, but I think if I sum this up well enough, basically saying, who the hell is Mina Kimes? She's never played before. Why does she think she can offer analysis on stuff like this? And a lot of people just ran and defended Mina. You don't get how hard it is. Mina Kimes is the best, blah, 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 blah. We've interacted with both people. And this is not saying that what Jeff Garcia did was right or what Mina Kimes did was wrong. I think I got to offer these stories about Garcia and Mina Kimes. And at any point, we could offer up what we think about this battle back and forth. Jeff Garcia has always sat down with us at Radio Row. And not only has sat down with us at Radio Row, was there early and was super intense. Like, he was one of these guys that you have the microphones off, the headphones off. We're just talking football. He's chilling. I think he was sipping I don't know what was in that drink now that I think about said this story, but he was fine. We turn on the mics. He is glaring us, like ready to attack. Like sorry, I just stepped on your graphic by accident there. Garcia, there you go. Yeah, he does. Jeff Garcia does scare me, but he was a great interview. We couldn't have asked for anything else. He was always asking how we were doing. He was very good to us. Is that fair? Do you think I set that up right? That Jeff Garcia was good to us? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say about Mina Kimes. And maybe this is just an isolated incident, and maybe this was early in her career. You and I are covering the Buffalo Bills at camp at St. John Fisher in 2017. And I remember this so well. So there was somebody on the sidelines that had an outfit that you would wear if you wanted to go to a club, like in your early 20s. Like if you were out at like Vapor, you'd probably see someone wearing that. And this girl had like 5-inch heels on. I'm like, and you know camp, right? Like you're constantly moving, you're following the football. Like I'll use an example. Meredith Gorman, who covered the Albany Empire before. We used to bust on Meredith and be like, Meredith was ready for like the running shoes. Like arena football, Even if you're a sideline reporter, you can't be rocking the heels. You're going to be rocking at the club. Like, that's just not a part of the job. But this person who's wearing like 5-inch heels and it looks like they're going to the club is Mina Kimes. So, okay, like she clearly is standing out, which is fine. Like, okay, like you wear whatever you want. I'm not criticizing your outfit, although I wouldn't have done that. But what happens next is you and I are with the pack of media people. So like when the ball's moving, the interviews are happening, everybody kind of has some etiquette with this, like, hey, just kind of stay with the pack. She is not only not associating with anybody, she is far, far away from everybody else. And then at the end of the overall practice, so you know this from the etiquette, if you're there every day, you let the guys who are there every day just handle it. Like if you're a Sal Capaccio, if you're a beat writer, Joe Biscaglia, they get the first questions. They get to do their job first, and you kind of step out of their way a little bit. Mina Kimes not only jumped in front of the pack, she took Tyrod Taylor away from everybody. Tyrod Taylor said, okay, well, hang on. We can't have Tyrod because he has to go do this interview over here. So Mina Kimes takes Tyrod Taylor away from the one-on-one from all the local beat writers, and they had to wait till she was done to do the Tyrod interview. So out loud, people are probably like, all right, guys, that's a little too specific. But I'm just telling my story. Like, Mina Kimes is probably super likable, but Levack and I have interacted with both people, and those are the stories we have from our end. So I know everybody has to defend everybody, blah, blah, blah. Those are just two personal stories we had from Mina Kimes and Jeff Garcia. Maybe they're isolated incidents. Maybe it's not their whole career, but I think it was interesting to offer that perspective on that story that was going wild on the internet this week.
The Mina Kimes thing, if the Bills are going to get a feature on ESPN with Mina Kimes hosting it, they're going to pull him away from everybody, whoever she wants to talk to. You know what I mean? Like the local beat reporters, they'll get him later. She's in there for one reason, whatever the story was she was going to do on T-Mobile. So I don't blame her for that. She played her card. Hey, I'm with ESPN and I want to talk to your dude today. Okay, cool. We'll make him available. Boom, done. That's I'm not upset about that. The heels, whatever. I don't care. I think you're just jealous because she looks better in heels than you do. I think that's what it comes down to. Those kind of things I don't care about. The only thing I don't like about what Garcia said, I like him going to war for his guy. I like him going to war for another 49er quarterback who gets drugged through the mud all the time. But when you draw that line of you didn't play, so you don't know football, it's just stupid. It's just dumb. That'd be like me saying to people who like if Corey from Greenwich listens to every radio show every day, all this stuff. Corey, you don't understand what good radio is because you never did radio. You don't know what a good podcast is because you never did. You never strapped on a headphone and grabbed a microphone. You never did it. Well, he listens all the time. He knows what he likes. You know what I mean? So like that drives me nuts when they do that. Like if she started criticizing a dude's toughness, okay, now we can have a different conversation. Like you don't know what football toughness is, but for her to say her opinion is that team wins with.
Check. I think Levack just went
Somehow
mute.
I muted.
Okay, I was gonna say I wasn't going to stop you because of my headphone issues earlier.
Now it's happening to me.
Our audio audience will have no idea what just happened there.
Now it's my turn.
But I will
talk,
say
guys.
this. No. I think your point was very valid there. I think that was a good situation that would happen. Before we get to the Royal Rumble and college hoops, I want to tell you about our friends over at Northeastern Insurance and our friend in particular, Jared Lozier. Man, he's been helping out businesses. We've been hearing some awesome stories, Levack. People, what's going on with Jared? Making sure that people are saving cash when things go wrong at a local business or things go wrong you didn't plan on. You got to make sure you're ready to go and have the right competitive prices. 518-956. 375. I got you. 518-956-3753. I'm talking about my friend Jared Lozier. Jared Lozier, Northeastern Insurance. Email him today, JAREDL@nemail.com. JAREDL@nemail.com. If you're looking to save cash in 2022, or you just want to make sure you have the right competitive price, or you're looking for a quote, Jared Lozier, Northeastern Insurance. We support him. If you want more information, check out this ticker throughout the episode here on our visual side, where he's going to help you in 2022. Levack, did you enjoy my conversation there with Jared Lozier? There's a chance that Levack's mic is also now down. This is what happens when we go virtual. I thought the background was going to be the biggest issue today. That is not the case. John Danielle just wrote, fix your mic, LOL. And Corey Greenwich, hey, I think that's a thumbs up from Corey. Look at that. That's very nice. Thank you, Corey. Wait a second. That looks like a middle finger from Corey. Levack will be back in a second, but when he is ready to go, he'll shoot me a message. Royal Rumble this Saturday night. 7 o'clock, the coverage gets underway on the WWE Network. Royal Rumble. Who's going to win, Levack? You and I. This is our favorite WWE pay-per-view. This is the best one. 30 men, 30 women. It's the best one.
Lay down.
That's the best way to come back to a conversation, just yelling at me to lay down. We got you, Levack. All right, Levack is still there. I just saw his head moving, so we'll get back to him in a second. I'm just going to keep him on the screen and keep him right there. Yeah, John Danielle's left.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. All right. You're back.
Can't hear anything.
Oh, darn it. Royal Rumble this weekend. All right, as Levack fixes his mics, we're going to get back to his Royal Rumble picks, but I'll do some weekend wagers. We're just going to flip the order on this. Syracuse plays Wake Forest tonight. The Orange have looked bad. They haven't looked good. Syracuse has been struggling. They got their butt kicks against Duke. And then also in the most recent matchup against Pittsburgh. If you want more on the Syracuse rant, I could do another 10 minutes on the Orange. Check out Goz on the Go. Make sure to check out all the Gozilla Media sites. All right. Yeah. You're back in, I think. What do you think about the Rumble tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's hysterical that I made so much fun of you, and then like mine went. And I'm not even sure what happened. I think my daughter turned on one of the other devices these headphones are hooked up to, and just it grabbed them. So I had to like rejoin them and everything. I like John Danielle, fix your mic. John Danielle, you've never had a mic. You don't know anything about radio, so you don't know anything about podcasting. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I
people have enjoyed us suffering today.
Yeah. What else did you want to talk about before I go away?
I was going to say, do you enjoy the Rumble?
I do like the Rumble. I'm a little sad because this has been a tradition for you and I. Like when we would fly into whatever city to cover the Super Bowl, that's what we would do. We would get there that day, we drop our gear off at the thing, and then, get a 12-pack, sit in the hotel and watch the Rumble. So I'm a little sad because we're not going to watch it with you. But I'll try to keep it together. And I'm in a pool for it too, because now that you can bet on everything, I'm betting on the Rumble.
DraftKings, by the way, DraftKings allows you to do it as well. Make sure to check it out on DraftKings. Yeah, free entry for the Rumble pool tonight too. So I have no idea who's
daily fantasy, or is that betting?
Yeah, hit promos on DraftKings. You'll check out the Rumble with both men and women. You can hop in on that for free. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm going to say Ronda Rousey and Kevin Owens. I'll probably change my pick before 7 o'clock. Those are my picks for the Rumble tonight. If you enjoy wrestling, Void Heat, Ryan Katie, JJ Alexander, Gozilla Media Podcast. Download it.
No, thanks. I'm trying to think who will win it. You think Ronda Rousey's in it tonight?
I think Ronda Rousey or The Rock. Somebody cool is going to come back tonight.
You think The Rock will win the Women's Rumble?
I'm trying to think if The Rock's ever played a woman in a movie. That's John Travolta now. The Rock did play the Tooth Fairy.
He did do that. That is true. I had really no idea because I was just thinking of who I even wanted to show up. Like I know a lot of the guys. That I'd like to be there are signed to other places. I hope Dalton Castle shows up. I hope Dalton Castle makes his WWE debut, leaves the indie ring and comes and reps the Cap region. Wins it all. Awesome. The party peacock himself. All right.
He also scares me, by the way, Dalton Castle.
Really? I love Dalton.
Remember how uncomfortable I was during that interview with Dalton?
Yeah, you were. It was weird. I thought because maybe it's because I just know him different than you know him. Like I've known him from the radio days and all that stuff. So like the fact that he's been on the cover of Rolling Stone, Ring of Honor champ, Jericho Cruise on. I was like, that's a dude I know. Like or Bobby Fish comes back. There's another Cap region stud wrestler. I want all the Cap region guys The tie.
Matt Riddle wins. Saratoga High School zone. There you go.
He's already there. He's already back.
True.
So
one other thing I like about Dalton Castle, I still remember this quote where I asked Dalton, "Who's your favorite wrestler you want to wrestle?" He goes, "You guys, right now. I want to wrestle you."
I love the picture of the three of us, and like whoever clicked it and caught it right when I was saying something to him, and he just went like this, so it looks like he was like trying to get me not to hit him.
I have my arms folded, scared that Dalton's going to tickle me or something.
It would happen. It could. It really could.
I just have 2 wagers for today. I say Michigan State over in college hoops. Xavier Creighton over. Those are the only college hoops stories I had. I was going to rant and rave about how bad some teams are. Auburn's really good. Auburn's by far, in a way, the best team in college basketball. Jabari Smith, all that stuff. What do we have for the rest of the schedule? Sunday, we got conference title games. You and I are back Tuesday. Tech East Tuesday. I want to see what we got coming up at Tech East Tuesday. I know you and Jamie are working some really cool stuff. And then Friday, we're at Hooters, Levack. Friday, we start Super Bowl week. The wheels are in motion for Super Bowl week. That just reminds me, I got to email somebody about a certain guest we're going to have leading off our Super Bowl coverage. Make sure he's booked for that. But Super Bowl coverage is on the way. Hooters, Friday, Tuesday, Tech East. It's Feel Good February for you guys who are at Tech East in the Albany Empire.
Yes, it's going to be a good time. We're going to give away tickets to the Empire every Tuesday during the month of February. And it is my understanding that our good friends at the Hideaway, as part of their reopening, which will be also in February. Will you not do that, Doug? They're going to give us a gift card to give away for Valentine's Day for Field of One February. And Cam was so excited he's biting my thumb over it. He's a weird dog.
Camo, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to sign off early if you are too, just in case we get more technical difficulties. Yeah. The episode title is Watch Us Struggle. And got time to do that.
How about Karma's a Bee? Karma's a Bitch is the name of this one. Levack picks on Goz and then proceeds to screw up his own headset. And then picks on Goz for blaming his kid, then blames his kid. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. All right, everybody, good luck with all your wagers. Unless you're betting against us, then you can go screw. That's the one to grow on.
Talk to you Tuesday.